Seth Brenthway, Crossroads 307, your host. Today we're talking with a little bit, or we've been talking in the updates, obviously, and everybody's been kind of paying attention to COVID-19 and what's going on around the state, and everybody's wanting to do a little bit of getting back into business and what's that going to look like. And today we've got a Wyoming business with us in the Wyoming Merchant. CEO's name is Cordell Ross, and Cordell's going to talk to us a little bit about what their company does today. But I want to kind of maybe frame what we're going to be talking about in the context of supporting our local businesses, our small businesses. They're all hurting right now, and what we can do for Wyoming and everybody around the country can do is support your local community, support, buy U.S. products. We need to have an economic recovery, and we need to make sure that we're supporting everybody who's really hurting right now. So, Cordell, thanks for coming on, man. Appreciate having you here.
Thank you, Seth. What an honor. It's great to be on Crossroads 307 podcast, brought to you by Encore Green Environmental. My viewers will really appreciate this, Seth. Thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me ask you, how did you find out about Crossroads 307? Was it, I'm sure it was something done through social media, but did you get, did you kind of primarily get caught onto us from the updates or just from these interview type shows? How did it happen for you?
Well, to be completely honest, I'm a big YouTube guy. I don't have television or nothing at the house. I'm primarily just go off YouTube, and I was essentially trying to come up with new ideas for my YouTube channel, and I wanted to do something similar to what you're doing.
Oh, okay.
And when I eventually found you, I realized I didn't need to go that route because you got a pretty good thing going on here.
Right on, man. Well, thank you so much. Yeah, our whole thing, you may have caught on there, but for people listening and just to recap, the whole way this all happened and the reason why it's called Crossroads 307 is because we talk about all things Wyoming, and Encore Green Environmental kind of finds themselves at a crossroads of everything Wyoming being agriculture and energy. And so we figured, hey, let's just get anybody and everybody that has something Wyoming, and let's talk about and shed light on things that nobody else is known about. And so I honestly hadn't ever really heard of the Wyoming Merchant, but to be honest with you, it's going to be friggin' awesome because it sounds like you guys do a lot of entertainment. I'm a big entertainment guy. I love that kind of thing. It's kind of interesting what's going on with COVID right now and how, obviously with social distancing, that's got to be a little bit taxing on what you guys are doing. What's going on with Wyoming Merchant Entertainment? How are you guys handling things?
Well, because of the COVID and the quarantine and everything, we've had to cancel pretty much everything we had planned for late winter, early spring, and maybe even into the future. So like a lot of other businesses in Wyoming, we've had to adapt. Luckily for us, we were already on YouTube and doing and creating content and stuff. So it was easy to go from live events with a little bit of YouTube just straight to YouTube only events. So we've been real fortunate during this bad time, I guess.
Yeah, I think everybody's going to have to just try to pick up and adapt and start using a little bit more of the technology. Let's back up just a little bit and tell us a little bit about what Wyoming Merchant does. Who are you guys? What is your goals? How are you guys looking to do things here in Wyoming? I mean, we obviously have kind of let the cat out of the bag that you work in entertainment and stuff like that, but how does your company work and such?
All right. Well, thank you very much for asking, man. We're a really small business based out of Sheridan, Wyoming, and our whole goal is to create the best live music events in the state. We're just starting out, so we don't have a whole lot of things under our belt per se, but we focus on promoting local musicians and traveling musicians alike, and we just try to promote Wyoming as best as we can through our lens.
I see.
And hopefully make a little money in the meantime.
Okay. And so you're an event promoter, and you guys set up events all around the state. And what are some of the ones that, just to give us an idea, what are some of the events that you guys had set up for earlier this spring and coming into the summer that are obviously going to have to get pushed back somehow? What was on the menu?
Well, fortunately, the only show I really had to cancel, and it was actually probably going to end up being my biggest show to date, was a band called Carrie Nation and the Speakeasy. they were coming out of Wichita, Kansas. They were a 4-piece folk punk band, and we were going to have that at the Best Western here in Sheridan. It was going to be a pretty big show. We were going to have some local artists, Tom Knowlton and a few other people. It was going to be a real big deal, but we had to cancel it. So now we're just doing what we can on YouTube, of course.
So is it just I mean, I don't want to say just, but if you go on to YouTube, you go to the Wyoming Merchant, is that just your YouTube channel name? And if they went on there, they could find, or how do they find you on YouTube?
Yeah, best way, we try to tag everything so that whatever you put will take us there. So the Wyoming Merchant is the name of the channel, and that's also the name of the business. But you can use Wyo Merch, which is also the name of our internet site, or you can use Wyoming Merchant, you know, all kinds of stuff. But if you were to look for us, use the Wyoming Merchant.
Are all of your, I mean, are primarily your events, are they kind of, are they all Wyoming bands and entertainment, or is it just anywhere around and it's just trying to bring entertainment, whether it comes out of Wyoming specifically or into Wyoming from other places? Is it kind of all encompassing that way, or what's the goal there?
It is. I try to primarily focus on Wyoming musicians, but I love bringing traveling musicians in. They've actually been really super good to me. These guys reach out to me and make it real easy, and those have been some of the funner shows too. But I do it anything I can.
So anybody who's wanted to try to be a musician or dreamt about being a musician, and I have been included in all those. Not that I have a little bit, I have some pipes, but I don't really have any instrumental talent. So at least just yet, my son has a ton. But it's always the same reoccurring theme that trying to make a living from music or entertainment can be difficult sometimes. And so right now, I would imagine that it's just like getting crushed without being able to come out and do some of those live entertainments. That's where a lot of revenue comes in. How can people support you guys now? Going to your YouTube channel, making donations. What are the avenues to help people support entertainment in the state?
Oh, I'm so happy you asked, Seth. A lot of these guys, like you said, they make their living playing shows, traveling around, and that's all been cut off from them. They're unable to do that. A lot of the people I work with have even had to adapt their lives and, you know, move and go find jobs elsewhere and just completely drop what they were doing. And that's essentially why I wanted to come on this program, not so much to promote my business and everything, but to just remind everybody that we have a ton of amazing musicians here in Wyoming, and these guys, they do all they can to entertain us. They play at our Christmas and Thanksgiving and whatever events and whatever, and they sacrifice their time to entertain us. And right now they're completely cut off. So I just wanted to try to get people to acknowledge that and maybe reach out, try to help these artists. There's tons of ways that a lot of these artists allow you to do that, such as Patreon, PayPal. Some of them have their own websites you can go to, and you can buy some merchandise or email them and figure out some other way you might be able to help. There's tons of options. A lot of the times you really just have to find the musician that you'd like to help, and then Google them, essentially look them up, see what the best way to get them some cash is. And
I wonder, and I don't know if maybe this is just an idea for you to throw out there, but I'm wondering if does the Wyoming Merchant, do you kind of act as like a hub where if somebody wants to go in and find Wyoming musicians and entertainers, that's where they could find them is at your site? Might be just a suggestion if it's not already there, because I myself, you know, and it's hard to kind of know what's going on in that scene unless you're out and about and at those live entertainment, and that's what makes it difficult for people to become discovered or take advantage of the talent that's here in the state. So Aside from that, is that something that you offer on your site, or how can you be a help to get the word out for those folks too?
Essentially, that's kind of one of my goals with the business. But as of right now, the only people I can really help are the people that work with me.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, that's only a few people. So I'm not a really good reference for, finding these artists. The
Mm-hmm.
best thing you can do, and another reason I'm here promoting, is people can go to the social media and YouTube especially, find these guys and start watching their videos, start watching the content these guys are creating, and that'll give you everything you need to know about what's going on with these guys, how to help them out, etc.
Okay, sounds good. So, what other kind of plugs or shout outs do you want to give to anybody individual or things like that? Tell us. I mean, we've talked about finding you on the YouTube channel. Your website is thewyomingermerchant.com. Is that right?
No, the website
Okay.
is actually, I shortened it to make it easy. It's just YOWYO merch.com.
Okay. Are there any online events or something that somebody can come up to or that's coming up that maybe we could give a shout out to and tell
I'm
people to check out?
so happy you asked. I don't know if you can see this.
Yeah.
Upcoming event. It's a Balsam Root Band.
Okay.
We're premiering their new Gorilla Pop-Up. It's a program on my YouTube channel. It'll be May 1st is when we'll upload it. We're going to have some contests to go along with it too. So follow us on social media and YouTube to learn more.
Right on. Are these all different kinds of genres or who is the what kind of genre are you talking about there with that band?
Okay, Balsam Root I would consider like I mean, I hate to misrepresent them, but maybe like a country folk. To me, it reminds me of Alison Krauss.
Mm.
That kind. That I don't know what you'd put that under. So that.
Well, it sounds like they would have a broad appeal. It's not
Oh,
like a punk band or something like that. Not that I have anything against them, but they oftentimes don't have as far of reach. So,
yeah,
that's awesome that it'd be something that everybody in the state probably would enjoy, and at least the majority, I would think, in some form or
that,
another. I'm myself
that's
in
up
kind
there.
of I like all kinds of music. I'm not really I like the expression. I like that. I mean, it's a pretty powerful tool to communicate with. So just
Absolutely.
I'm always inspired by people who can do it and do it well and touch somebody. So that's something that's always appealed to me. And I think that it's important for a community, especially times like now, to have that kind of interaction in the community. And so it's really important to support the entertainment community. So, well, what
Absolutely.
else do we think? What else are we missing, man? Is there anything else you'd like to throw out and kind of make sure we're informed on? And
If I could just drop a few things real quick, kind of
sure.
acknowledge a few people, and that's really about all I'd like to do.
Okay.
If you allow me a moment.
Yeah, go for it, man.
All right. Well, obviously, I want you folks to reach out to any musician in the state or wherever, really, or any local business, really. But I'm focusing on musicians right here. But reach out to these folks and see if you can help them. See what you can do. I also want to bring some attention to YouTube. I don't know if a lot of you know this, but we have some really amazing YouTube channels in Wyoming. For instance, we have My Wyoming Life and Beyond the Ranch. It's the same outfit, two different channels. These guys are amazing. They literally just got done doing a 24-hour live stream of ranching. Like,
Yeah.
I think he delivered a calf and did all kinds of crazy stuff. It's just really incredible content.
So basically, are those guys just going out in the field and then just recording and sharing with everybody what they do?
These guys are literally the kings of Wyoming YouTube. They have the best produced, just highest quality channel you can almost get. They do everything. They
Wow.
I think one of the videos it was just him delivering a calf, and then other ones he's driving around in a gator. Then they're just talking. They're talking about agriculture in Wyoming and all this
Mm.
stuff. It's stuff that is directly applicable to your channel as well as even my channel in a lot of ways. Just because we're so Wyoming focused, you know.
Well, it's awesome, man. Because even though I have kind of jumped into this arena and to get my feet wet and get my hands dirty, I'm still learning too, and always learning. And so I didn't know about this group. We're definitely gonna have to reach out to them. So,
I've been trying to reach out to them. I think they live out of town or something.
mm-hmm.
I think it's a little difficult, but all their information's out there if you look
Okay.
for it, and they're just amazing. But it's that kind of thing I want to draw attention to. There's also Wyoming PBS, which is criminally underrated, man. If you like Wyoming, you need to check out Wyoming PBS. It is just such a great resource, and these guys are reaching tons of people. Like, take for instance the Wyoming Life. They have over 150,000 subscribers, and they've had over 20 million views. That's incredible. Wow. Incredible. Yeah. And these guys are in Wyoming. These guys are, some of you might even know them and not even realize, you know? So, like, it's people like that and people like Phi Ninth, Guy in Wyoming. These guys got amazing channels. They're reaching people outside of Wyoming, probably outside of the country, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And this is the kind of stuff I want people to notice in Wyoming and support, I guess, you know, just like, if nothing else, watch the videos, give it a like, maybe share it on your social media. That goes a long way for content creators.
Yeah, definitely. And the thing that's interesting is, as I've been kind of traveling around, I grew up in Cheyenne, so we often get criticized, as you might have even been one of them that did it up there in Sheridan. You guys that Laramie County is almost like Teton County in some ways. Is viewed that way as the redheaded stepchild of Wyoming. Doesn't really fit in with everybody. That's the way that we're kind of perceived with most of the state, but. Anyway, sometimes we kind of get to thinking that in Wyoming, we only got 500,000 people. You don't really have much interesting to offer to anyone else. And we get to be sometimes a little bit, I don't know, multiple personality. You get half the people who are like, no, we need to expand things. We need to get into new stuff and create, expand our economy, give reasons for our kids to stay and this kind of thing. And then in the same breath, we're saying, we don't want anybody here. We don't want to have anything to do with it. So we can't make up our minds. But no, I think that we're really missing out on an opportunity. Obviously somebody else is seeing it and jumping on it. And there's plenty to go around, all you got to have is a little bit of creativity and a little bit of will and to stick to it. And I think that there can be some great success for it. So no, that's great to hear with those guys.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll cut to the quick. I just want to name drop a few more people just so I can get them out there, let you guys kind of know they're out there. I mentioned all the YouTubers. It was the My Wyoming Life and Beyond the Ranch. It's the same outfit. Check them both out. Wyoming PBS. We got Phi Ninth. She's a off the grid gal. She does amazing videos too. Guy in Wyoming. Any guy in Wyoming should check out this, and women will like it too. It's an amazingly cool channel. And then I also want to point out some Facebook and Instagram content creators. I think you would fall into that category, as well as the YouTube, the Crossroads 307, as well as people like Kaylin Beasley and Melissa Forret. These guys are creating a lot of great content, and they're amazing musicians. And just watching their Instagram alone is worth it, Plus, there's smaller guys, like guys sitting in their house, just having a good time when they get a chance. A guy that comes to mind is Troy Thomas Walker. He's a great musician. He just sits in his living room, plays guitar for the world,
Yeah.
It's great stuff. And then I want to point out another one that does both. And I think these guys, along with My Wyoming Life, they're really setting the bar of how to make a difference on YouTube and social media, and that's Go Fast, Don't Die. Those guys are doing crazy good stuff, and it's just, if you're into motorcycles, mayhem, and meaning, those guys are a sweet resource for you, especially if you're a Wyoming guy. But you don't have to be. It's just an awesome channel. But
Right.
I name dropped just about everybody I wanted to, because you are an agriculturally focused kind of program. I want to point out the Carter Ranch. I had my first job there when I was a little kid. These guys are creating not only an amazing agricultural business, and they're creating incredible content along with it. And that's Carter Country Meats. These guys are amazing. They're doing awesome stuff. They got great meat you can buy. Mark, I'm assuming one of the owners, I don't really know, so don't quote me on that, but he's a professional snowboarder. He's like buddies with Travis Rice. He's the man. You got to check out his content too.
Okay.
But those guys are all amazing. And these guys all fall within that realm of what I call content creators, you know, kind of. And these are people that along with the musicians, I really want to put a spotlight on, because I think if we as a state supported them more, they could be doing amazing things, and even bringing money into the state through the internet in ways that a lot of us probably couldn't do, you know?
Yeah, I mean, the thing that's interesting is a lot of the channels that you just talked about, if I understand you right, have quite a bit of a following, and I don't know whether that's a following that's mostly out of the state, and it probably is. And if we can just get a little bit more within the state, it sounds like, is because I don't know why, but I hadn't heard of them. And that's kind of, you know, the reason for the shout out here. But what do you think that is? Why do you think that there may not be as many people in Wyoming? I mean, they're Wyoming, they're from here, you know, that's where the roots are. Why do you think that it's not at least made it to my ears yet? I don't know.
Oh man, it could be a lot of things. Really, I guess it would just go down to promotion. Like, they're not probably promoting to us like maybe they don't have to,
yeah.
you know, like right now they're just trying to get whatever they can get, and it's just rolling and rolling, you know. Like, if like me, for instance, I don't have a budget. I live paycheck to paycheck and run my business the same way, unfortunately. So I don't necessarily have the money to promote. So all I can focus on right now is creating content. So I hope that content will, you know, through social media and other platforms, get me the people coming in. But sometimes that just doesn't happen. And if you're not looking for it, it's probably
why would
not
you find it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you kind of reached out to us and wanted to bring light to it, because I really think that a lot of these different channels, including yours, ours, everyone else's, if we all kind of, you know, work together to promote each other, then we probably can do well for each other. So, I mean, that's kind of what all Crossroads is about too, is giving everybody the opportunity to get the word out on something that a lot of people haven't heard of. I mean, listen, like I say, I was down in Laramie County, and I didn't know most of the stuff that was going on in the state. I mean, that's just the truth. I mean, we have some oil production here. We don't have a lot of agriculture. At least, I mean, we have, you know, some ranching and stuff like that, but we don't really have like any farming, things like that. And it's different than the rest of the state. And so we kind of miss out on having a really comprehensive understanding of what's going on. And as I traveled around, I was like, holy cow, there's some really cool stuff happening. There's some concerning stuff happening. But if we can have everybody have a place where everybody can learn about that and understand and see what different things other people are trying around the state to be successful, not only for themselves, but bring revenue in the state, just it would be really good for us all to be informed on that. If nothing else, just a good informed voting block, if nothing else. But so now, man, I really appreciate you coming on. This has been really informative for me. I'd love to keep in touch with you. And for all of you guys out there listening, we're open to whatever topics you guys want to talk about, especially if it's Wyoming, particularly if it's Wyoming related. Some of this stuff that we've had on the show has kind of spanned out to national topics, but also still relates specifically to Wyoming. So we're open to whatever is out there. If you have something that you want to bring on the show, just like Cordell did, I mean, the number's right there. Just give us a call. We will we'll get you on the show and help get the word out. So Cordell, thanks so much for coming on. What any last words for the show? We'd love to have you on again too. Maybe some follow-up, see how things are kind of going with the industry, and maybe if you got things to promote, let us know. We can do little segments. As long as we can create some good content that everybody's getting informed on, I think will be beneficial for everyone. So any last words?
That all sounds great, man. Thank you very much. All I gotta say is, once again, I really super appreciate you giving us this opportunity, both yourself, and Encore Green Environmental, as well as your viewers. And I hope my viewers enjoy this, and I hope me coming out and saying something helps some of you folks. Lastly, I just want to plug, I just uploaded one of my new Gorilla pop-up programs on YouTube. It's featuring Dugan Irby. It's going to be really great. Please check it out. And like I mentioned earlier, we have a new one dropping on May 1st featuring Balsam Root Band. Check them out. Thank you all very much. I really, really had fun here today. Thank you.
Awesome, man. Yeah, I'm glad you came on. So, yeah, you can check him out at www.wyomerch.com. And then the number, let's see, is 307-751-1282. Give him a call if you got any questions, want to promote any of your events, find out what the next up-and-coming thing is. Cordell Ross, thanks so much for joining me. Stick around here for just a second when we're done here, Cordell. And then we'll see all the rest of you guys the next time at the Crossroads. Take care.